All right, folks. We got some blue vibes going for this one, Underwater, which is a 2020 film starring good old K. Stew. And TJ Miller is also in this. And the dude that I don't know his name, but he was in Derailed also, which was a movie I also enjoyed. I'll have to review that one time too. Anyway, let's get into it. So you know the drill, spoiler alert. I'm going to be talking about the film, and if you haven't seen it and you don't want it spoiled, do not watch. You have been warned. Alrighty, so we have this a research facility, or not a research facility, it's a drilling facility, I should say, in, I believe it's the Marianas Trench. It's super deep water, so like we're talking, you know, goblin sharks and sea pigs and anglerfish and all that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, we don't really see any of those. That would have been really cool, but we see other things, don't worry. So yeah, we got this rig, and there have been sounds outside of it for a while now. So we have Kristen Stewart, who plays Nora, who's kind of our main character in this film, and she's in the bathroom brushing her teeth, and she sees a little daddy longlegs spider in the sink somehow, and she's like, wow, okay. Doesn't flush him, saves him, good on you. But I mean, what's he gonna eat, like, you know, 1,000 feet underwater? But that's fine. Anyway, starts shaking, lots of noises, and she notices a leak. Oh shit. So right away we're into the action. Right away we have structural integrity warnings for this drilling site that they're at. So right away she's running to try to, you know, get everything fixed. She's the, what is she, a mechanical engineer or something like that. So she runs onto this other guy. Oh, what is his name? Is it Rodrigo? Ugh, I don't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter. She runs into this guy, and spoiler alert, I already gave that, but he dies like right away, so it's inconsequential what his name is, but I think it's Rodrigo. I think, or something close to that. Anyway, she runs into him, and she's figuring all this stuff out and looking at the schematics of the place, and like, all right, we gotta, like, this place is not doing too well. We got to get out of this this section of the facility to the, I guess it would be like the, what would it be, the bridge or whatever you'd call it, like the main control area, I guess. Well, they got to go to the escape pods first. That's their first thought. So they, unfortunately, we see two people running and walls caving in behind them, and K-Stu is basically waiting for the last chance she has to let them in, but unfortunately she has to shut the door. These two people are dead. Boom, you see an implosion from outside, very cool. If you don't know what an implosion is, which you should, obviously, it's the opposite of an explosion. So explosion goes, implosion goes, anyway. That is science, my friends. Sorry. Oh, this is such an awful video. What an awful channel, eh? Why are you even subbed to this, if you're subbed? Probably not. Anyway, back to the movie. Getting sidetracked here. So, those people are dead. They go to the pod room, the escape pod room, and they find Lucien, the captain, who's in there. And he is alive. The door is jammed. Friggin' Nora, tech genius, figures out how to open it. All the pods are damaged. That's no good. They all go to the control room where they meet up with Liam and Emily. Our other two guys. Oh shit, I forgot. They also ran into a gentleman by the name of Paul. That's TJ Miller's character. So when they were to get to the pod bay or whatever, they have to crawl through like a half collapsed section of hallway or whatever, and they see him under the rubble and they dig him up and they keep crawling through there past a dead body, and then they meet Lucien. Anyway, fast forwarding back to where we are, we're in the main hub. Lucien is like, alright, so this ain't looking good. I gotta be honest with you guys, this place is not going to last. We need to get the hell out of Dodge. So, how are we gonna do that? We don't have escape pods. And he's like, well, here's a tram facility that will take us to the middle facility or whatever. I guess there's like 3 drilling facilities. There's, what was it called? I wrote it down here somewhere. I don't remember. Okay. Maybe I didn't write it down. But anyway, there's that one, then there's the middle one, and then there's I'll just call it Roblox. It's something like that. So anyway, you got these 3 facilities. They could take the tram to the middle one and then take the pods up and, you know, the happy joy, etc. So that's the plan. But the only problem is that without any kind of way to get there, because everything's collapsed, they have to walk on this ocean floor, basically, in these super dense space suits, for lack of it. Well, I guess underwater suits, whatever you call those. Diving suits. Oh my god. So they have to go across the seabed in these diving suits. So that's fun. But first they need to go down to an elevator to get to the sea floor. And there's like a 2-part elevator. They go down the first part, it stops. They have to sort of jump down to the second platform. It's all underwater at this point, so like you're gonna fall slow. You're not gonna like die or anything. You'd think, right? Anyway. They get onto the second platform, and that one goes down, and as they're lowering, they pick up a distress signal. So one of the escape pods is down there somewhere. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So Paul and Liam are like, okay, we're going to go check it out. We'll figure it out. We'll, you know, if there's anyone in there, we'll somehow figure out how to get them with us, and we'll all go together, etc. You know, safety in numbers, as I always say. And boy, that doesn't last long. But anyway... They get to the pod and they see it's basically decompressed. There's like weird algae looking stuff, or seaweed kind of stringy stuff growing off of it. Stuff they've never seen before. Like, okay, there's no bodies here. Oh shit, yeah, there's a body. And what do we do? And they're like, well, just take something off of it so that we can send it to the family to remember them by. And he's like, all right. Takes a wallet or something. I can't remember what he takes from him. But anyway. Does that. And then he notices something on it eating the person. And they're like, what the hell is that? By the way, it's super pitch black because they're like at the bottom of the damn ocean, right? Like, you know, suspend your disbelief a little bit that their diving suits can handle the pressure, but like, they're far underwater. I don't know if it is the Marianas Trench or not, but regardless, it's to the point where like you probably couldn't dive in reality. It's a drilling rig, right? So I mean, bottom of the ocean, no matter where you are, it's pretty freaking deep. So anyway. Again, I'm getting sidetracked. The thing eating the person ends up launching itself at Liam. And luckily, they had taken some form of like underwater guns that they have under there. I don't know why they have those. Maybe they're like nail guns or something for like underwater welding or something. That would make the most sense. Anyway, they've taken them because they heard weird noises and stuff in transmission logs. And outside they can hear banging and stuff. And it's just tripping them out, so they take these. Anyway. Good thing they did, because yeah, boom, shoots that thing just as it jumps out at Liam. Then we cut to a scene of them looking at this thing back in a, you know, area with air. So they're looking at it. It's like no creature that they've ever seen before in their life. Definitely a new species. It has like tentacles, and in the tentacles it has like talons. Like, it's just nice. Anyway. They start hearing banging too, and then one of them is like, it's probably about, I think it's TJ Miller who asked, of course, because he's so TJ Miller in this movie. So if you don't like him, you might hate this movie, but if you don't mind him, it's okay. Actually, you might like it even more in a little bit. So anyway. Yeah, so they hear knocking and whatnot, and they're looking up, and they can sort of see shadows in the darkness swimming around, and then all of a sudden, it's backlit by a super bright light, and you see a creature like quickly move away, and it's like, oh shit, that's Kepler. That's what the drilling section that they came from is. So that bright light is Kepler imploding and falling down to where they are. So that's no good. It scared off the creatures. That's great, but they got to move now. So they are on the seafloor now, and they're, you know, moonwalking as fast as their little feet can, but like the pressure's like a billion friggin', I don't know what it is down there. It was crazy. So walking's got to be difficult. Anyway, they're not going super fast, and they got to dodge all this stuff falling, and naturally a piece falls on Liam, and he gets hurt, and they have to like drag him. He's okay. He doesn't die here or anything, so it's good. So they drag him. Basically, they help him to get to this midsection station, and this whole time there are things swimming around. Yeah, gotta love things swimming around, right? Anyway, they get to this other station, and it's also compromised. So I was like, okay, this is not great. Like, to the point of, like, it's not even worth looking if it has pods or anything. Like, okay, well, we gotta walk to the final station, the friggin' Roblox, as I call it, station. What is it actually called? What did I write down here? Oh, jeez. I don't know. I'm going to call it Roblox. Doesn't matter. It's more fun that way. So you got to get to Roblox. I've never actually played Roblox, and I don't even know what it is, but I know it's like a kid's game, so it's amusing to me. Let me have it. Anyway. So they have to go to this other station now, and they got to do some moonwalking on the ground again. But, no, they don't. Sorry, my bad. Ugh. They find like a tram, like an underground bore tunnel tram that will go between the facilities, which is why they couldn't go to this one because it was caved in the previous... Okay, so that's what... Anyway, they find this one and they take it as far as they can, but lo and behold, that tunnel is collapsed too. Cool. So they get out and there's a little bit of flooding, so good thing they got their diving suits on. So they go and go and go, and eventually they see a part that's collapsed. It looks like it goes like underwater. The roof is collapsed. So Nora's like, I'm the thinnest one. I'll go take a look. If I can get through, I'll radio when I'm on the other side. And they're like, all right. So she does, and she does, and she does. And lo and behold, everyone can fit through essentially. So that's great. One by one, they start coming through. And Paul is the last one to come through, and he gets kind of stuck, of course, because, he's like the comic relief, I guess, sort of, in this film. Sort of. And they pull him out, and just as he gets pulled out, something pulls him back. So, shit. He's like, oh god, oh god, oh god. And they're like trying to pull him, and unfortunately, it gets him. I don't know how it happens, but like his head explodes, or like blood flies up. So maybe one of the little ones got in there, and like, I don't know, maybe the pressure or something. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Anyway, Paul's dead, so that's what I'm saying. If you don't like TJ Miller, maybe you will like this movie because he dies in it. So there you go. And if you do like him, you'll like him because he has some his TJ Millerisms in here. Anyway, he's dead. Gotta move on now. Why the thing doesn't go and attack them? Maybe it's too big. I'm not sure. Anyway, they gotta get the hell out of there now too. So essentially, the corridor is like walkable for the rest of it, but they have to go back out onto the ocean floor to get that final, the final push to Roblox station. Oh my god, I wish I would have wrote more clearly because it's just ridiculous calling that. Anyway, so they're out on the ocean floor, and lo and behold, these creature things are, not around anymore because of the falling debris. So that's good. They've got a pretty good clear walk towards the station. So there's the 4 of them left, and they get to they can see the door, but then they see growth things like the same thing that was on the body that Paul and Liam had seen initially. But there's more to it than that. So like a piece of like collapsed debris or whatever is almost making like a cave entrance kind of, and they look, and all those friggin' seaman creature things are basically in stasis mode, hanging from the ceiling, sort of dormant or whatever, whether they're hibernating or just sleeping or whatever. That's what they're doing. So they gotta move extra cautiously, and there's hands hanging down and shit, and lo and behold, one hand falls down and it bumps into poor friggin' Nora's helmet. Doesn't seem to wake up initially, so she's like, well, I have to move. So she slowly moves, and the hand slowly is dragging, and I guess it's enough to wake this thing up, because lo and behold, it goes for her. And there's a really cool scene where it legitimately kind of tries to swallow her, and it does that, but she has one of those guns, so it basically has her feet sticking out of its mouth, and boom, it falls, and she rips through its side and guts and crap or whatever. And then there's a scene where another one is, so all of the ones that are on the piece of debris or whatever are awake now, and they just witnessed all this shit. So I might be going out of order here, but anyway, one grabs her and like swims to the surface, like up, and like it's dragging. She's tethered to Lucienne, so they go flying up. They were following these like beacon marker things on the ocean floor to sort of guide them in the right direction or whatever. So anyway, there's like a floating platform, I guess, with like a radio signal that pulses out. So I guess the things on the surface can tell where each thing is or whatever. Anyway, this thing goes flying up and they end up landing. She's on one and he's on the other end there. And this creature jumps on the thing and it's about to, it attacks poor Nora, and Lucienne jumps at it and he's stabbing it and it just jumps back down. And as it's going down, if you know anything about deep sea stuff, the further you get, the more the pressure goes, and if you don't go slowly, you can implode, which is happening. They're getting warning signals on their things, and Lucien decides to sack himself by cutting the tether, and he's dragged, and you see him going off into the darkness, and then imploded. So, poor Lucien. She comes to on the bottom. I guess she floated down at like a normal speed, so the pressure didn't get her or something. I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly. I'm not a scientician, as I like to say. But anyway, she survives. But she's got the warning lights going, which is no good. That being said, wherever Emily and Liam are now, I mean, they're not going to be doing great either, because Liam's hurt, first of all. And when the piece of debris fell on him, it damaged his oxygen. So he has a very limited supply of oxygen in him. So that's no good. So as she's walking, she's following the markers still, because that's what the other two would have been doing and whatnot. Okay, yeah, so sorry, when the thing tries to eat her, that's later. So this is coming up. I apologize. Anyway, she goes and she starts getting... on the radio, Emily talking, but like she can't communicate back. So she's in an older dive suit that she had found in this a secondary station. It's like what do they call it? Like an expeditions station that's been abandoned or whatever. It still has air in it or whatever, and she finds like Lucien's old outfit and finds out that like he had a daughter that passed away. So there's a scene earlier in the movie where Emily's trying to make small talk because she's super scared of having to walk on the ocean floor, which makes sense, right? So she's asking people about their kids, their dogs and stuff, and Lucien's like, yeah, I have a daughter, she's 14, and Nora's just like, 14? Dude, like, it's been years, like, she must be, like, in her 20s now. He's like, oh, did I say 14? Shit, sorry, I don't know. Anyway, turns out she died at age 14, so that's why he did that. Anyway, there you go. A little bit of backstory for Lucien for those who were interested. And yeah, she finds this old diving suit, and I guess it has she tunes it to the radio frequency that they're using in their modern suits and goes out and finishes the trail. Anyway, that's when she finds Buddy and Girlio. Buddy and Girlio. There, Liam's down. He's alive, but I guess like the oxygen level's so low, maybe he passed out, or he just like can't walk with exerting himself, will use up the oxygen or something. So she's like crouching down and panicking because like her number one fear is like deep sea shit. So good job choice, right? Anyway, she's panicking, and Nora goes and calms her down. I was like, dude, I'm here. We're gonna do this. We'll get through this shit. Anyway, then we have the scene where the hand and the thing tries to eat her and shoots or whatever. Anyway, after the thing dies and all those other things can see it, she's like, okay, I gotta just go for the door. But that piece of debris starts rising, and they're clinging to this thing, and you know what it is? It's a fucking kaiju. So we had a giant ass friggin' monster underwater with all these little mini ones clinging to it, and it's huge. So she's like, oh shit. I'm guessing at this point Emily and Liam had made it inside the facility or whatnot. Anyway, she's like moon running the best she can, and this giant ass foot slams down on some kind of power thing, and it explodes and sends Nora flying. And she's at the door coming to, and all these emergency things blaring, gets in the pressure thing, depressurizes. Her helmet's stuck, and Emily just smashes the shit out of the helmet so that it can she won't suffocate in there, right? So, success. And then somehow they can take the helmet off after that. Go figure. Not really important. So they get into the pod room and they're looking at the pods, and Emily and Liam see 2 pods working, and Nora's looking around, sees another one and looks inside of it, and it was the only one that looks like it could have worked, but it's damaged, it's not repaired. She lies to them and says, no, it's all good. We got 3 pods. And they're like, okay. They throw Liam in one. He's like, no, you guys go first, all that kind of stuff. But he goes in. He's injured. He needs to get out of there, priority 1. And then they're arguing a little bit of who takes the other pod when Emily realizes there's only 1 pod left. So, yeah, that's not great. But Nora gets her way by punching her in the face and pushing her into the pod. So Emily's going up. Good times. Nora looks at it. She's like, can I even fix it? Probably not. So as everything's shaking and all these creatures are banging on the glass, and you see this kaiju in the background looming closer and closer, she just sits down at this point. She's like, fuck. I'm gonna die. It's, we'll just take this loss, I guess. Take the L, and we had a good run. But then she notices the sensors in the facility notice that, well, they're tracking the pods, obviously, because they're connected. It's from the same facility, whatever. But they show all these unknown bogies, whatever you want to call them, going up towards the pod. So basically this kaiju has sent its creatures up to go get Nora, or Nora's friends or whatever. She's like, that's not going to happen. So what does she do? She self-destructs the core. She closes the vents, it heats up, boom! Outside view, kaiju roar, and then just like a massive nuke basically evaporates it. I guess it kills all the creatures, whether hive mind linked or the explosion was enough to hit them or whatever, but the 2 survive. Nora sacked herself, hero, good times. It's a slow motion shot of like everything sort of like blowing up behind her and her closing her eyes, and then cuts to newspaper clips basically saying, we don't know what happened to the facility, we're going to repair it and resume drilling. There were 2 survivors and all of their interviews were classified, strained footage, etc. All the other footage was destroyed. Big conspiracy. Excuse me. And that was the movie. So, what did I think? It was fun. It was an hour and a half-ish, give or take like 5 minutes or something, which is the perfect amount of time for this kind of movie. It borrowed a little bit of the vibe from Aliens, like Alien, the second Alien movie. But it was different enough that it wasn't just a complete ripoff. I enjoyed Kristen Stewart. She was pretty solid for the most part. And everyone else was pretty decent too. I mean, no complaints there. A banger was playing over the credits. Some good song. I'll have to look up the soundtrack. I'm not really sure what else is on there. But anyway, that was good. Storyline was good enough. Like I said, it just got right into the action, so we didn't have too much humming and hawing. We learned enough about each character to care a little bit about them, except for, Rodrigo or whatever his name was at the beginning. Yeah, it worked. I really like this movie, I'll be honest. So, I mean, I might rank it. I'm ranking it higher than most people do. I'm gonna give it a fucking, excuse my language, sorry. I gotta stop with the casual swearing. I'm gonna give it a 7.95. That's where I'm going. And like I said, I really enjoy this movie for what it is. It's just an action-packed, creepy-ass, underwater, aliens-ish type movie. I'm a sucker for underwater things, like ocean life and stuff fascinates me, so that is right up my alley. It might not be for everyone, but honestly, I would say watch it. I don't know what it's streaming on. I watched it on my buddy's Plex channel that he shares with me, so that's how I saw it. But I don't know if it's streaming on anything. Maybe Shudder, I'm not sure. But definitely check it out. It's worth the watch. There you go, 7.95. We finally had a good one. After, well, I mean, the last couple were whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll end it here. Good day.